When we're toddlers, we have all the time in the world. Days last forever. Everything fascinates us. The world is filled with wonder. Our urge to explore and play fuels our curiosity, which is all-consuming. We are sponges, hungry to experience everything around us, immersing ourselves in our environment in every way possible, with all of our senses. Put us in the sandbox with a cup and spoon, and we will occupy ourselves for hours, content to play until we get tired, thirsty, or hungry. Our brains soak it all in, wiring thousands of new connections each day, creating new knowledge. As we gain language skills, our curiosity takes the form of incessant questions, unbound and uncensored. Then, in preschool, our activity becomes more structured. We learn about rules, sitting up straight, coloring inside the lines, resting on cue, speaking in turn, standing in lines, and, of course, never talking when we're in one. In elementary school, we learn the importance of answering the teacher's questions correctly within strict time limits. Our performance depends on it. We're graded on our ability to regurgitate quickly. As we move up in grade, all of that gets exaggerated, enforced, and accelerated year after year. Our own questions lose priority until we eventually lose our desire to ask it all, for fear of disrupting others. As we enter the workforce, we bring with us this embedded right answer now mindset, which pleases the boss who has taken the place our teachers once held. By the time we're 25, we're finely tuned, well-oiled machines of efficiency, wired to answer quickly and, if we're lucky, correctly. Given our grooming, is it any wonder that we leap to solutions? The leaping flaw. Psychologists give leaping any number of labels, from the more sophisticated rapid cognition to the more colloquial JTC, which stands for jumping to conclusions. Malcolm Gladwell called it thin slicing in his 2005 book Blink, The Power of Thinking Without Thinking, the genesis for which actually concerned an incident he had with some New York Police Department officers, whom he thanks in his acknowledgments. As he tells it, he had grown his hair long after his mega hit The Tipping Point, which for most people is inconsequential. Not for Malcolm. His hair is even more wild in person than it looks in pictures. All of a sudden, he was getting all the wrong kinds of attention from authorities, traffic stops, airport security pat-downs, which culminated in his being stopped for questioning by 3 NYPD officers as he strolled down 14th Street in Manhattan. They were looking for a felony perpetrator, the defining quality of whom was a big head of curly hair. The officers had driven their van up on the sidewalk and jumped out on nothing more than a glance at Malcolm's head. It took a full 20 minutes before the officers set him free, even though he had nothing whatsoever in common with the police artist's sketch, other than hairstyle. Something about that first impression created by my hair derailed every other consideration in the hunt for the rapist, Gladwell wrote. That episode on the street got me thinking about the weird power of first impressions. And that thinking led to Blink. So I suppose, before I thank anyone else, I should thank those 3 police officers. Blink was published right in the midst of my work with the LAPD bomb squad, so the timing couldn't have been more perfect. I shared the story with the officers I worked with in follow-up sessions, and we all agreed that no matter how trained and skilled someone might be, everyone falls prey to leaping. They actually had their own term for it, jumping the gun. In fact, they decided to give me a taste of my own medicine, which actually involved a gun. They invited me to Elysian Park, home to the LAPD Academy. And oh, did they ever exact revenge for the shampoo exercise. The gun I was given didn't fire real bullets, thankfully. It was wired to some sort of video training device. In front of me was a large screen. After some cursory instruction on how to hold, aim, and fire the weapon, the fun began. A video began to play, from my point of view. In other words, it was as if I was a police officer wearing a GoPro. In the first situation, I've stopped a suspect car, the driver of which is wanted for questioning. As I approach the car, the driver gets out, reaches into his jacket pocket, and before I can even react, he stabbed me in the gut. I'm down. They play it again, and this time I'm ready.